Hi, my name is Pat, and this is my channel, Book Chat with Pat, and I'm glad that you're here. Today is Poetry Thursday, and in this episode, I'm going to be speaking about the newly appointed U.S. Poet Laureate, Arthur Z. Arthur Z was born in New York City in 1950, and he was educated at MIT. He is a poet, a translator, and an editor. He's the author of 12 collections of poetry, several works of translation as well. Included in his books of poetry are the newly published in 2025 collection Into the Hush. The Glass Constellation, New and Collected Poems, published in 2021, is another newish collection. He also wrote Sightlines in 2019, which won the National Book Award for Poetry. Compass Rose from 2014 was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize. In 1995, his collection Archipelago was selected for an American Book Award. Z has also published The Silk Dragon 2 in 2024, which was an expanded edition of his 2001 book of Chinese poetry translations, The Silk Dragon. And that earlier collection was selected for the Western States Book Award for Translations. He's also published a prose collection, The White Orchard, Selected Interviews, Essays, and Poems, and he has edited Chinese Writers on Writing. Z's poems have been published in many journals, including American Poetry Review, Boston Review, Harper's, Harvard Review, the Kenyon Review, The Nation, The New Republic, The New Yorker, the Paris Review, Poetry Magazine, and the Best American Poetry and the Pushcart Prize anthologies. His work has been translated into 15 languages, including Chinese, Dutch, German, Korean, Spanish, and Portuguese. He's the recipient of many prizes. In 2022, he won the Ruth Lilly Poetry Prize. He also won the Shelley Memorial Award for poetry from the Poetry Society of America. He won the Jackson Poetry Prize from Poets and Writers, a Lannan Literary Award, a Guggenheim Fellowship, and the 2024 Rebecca Johnson Bobbitt National Poetry Prize from the Library of Congress. He's also been the recipient of 2 National Endowment for the Arts Creative Writing Fellowships, a Howard Foundation Fellowship, and 5 grants from the Witter-Binner Foundation for Poetry. Z was the first ever Poet Laureate of Santa Fe, New Mexico. From 2012 through 2017, he was a chancellor of the Academy of American Poets. And in 2017, he was elected a fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. He's a professor emeritus at the Institute of American Indian Arts. On September 15th, 2025, Z was named the 25th U.S. Poet Laureate. And so now, how about some poetry? First, I'm going to read At the Equinox. The tide ebbs and reveals orange and purple sea stars. I have no theory of radiance, but after rain evaporates off pine needles, the needles glisten. In the courtyard, we spot the rising shell of a moon, and at the equinox bathe in its gleam. Using all the tides of starlight, we find vicissitude is our charm. On the mud flats off Homer, I catch the tremor when waves start to slide back in. And from Roanoke, you carry the leafing jade smoke of willows. Looping out into the world, we thread and return. The lapping waves cover an expanse of mussels clustered on rocks and giving shape to what is unspoken. Forsythia buds and blooms in our arms. First, snow. A rabbit has stopped on the gravel driveway, imbibing the silence. You stare at spruce needles. There's no sound of a leaf blower, no sign of a black bear. A few weeks ago, a buck scraped his rack against an aspen trunk. A carpenter scribed a plank along a curved stone wall. You only spot the rabbit's ears and tail. When it moves, you locate it against speckled gravel, but when it stops, it blends in again. The world of being is like this gravel. You think you own a car, a house, this blue zigzagged shirt, but you just borrow these things. Yesterday, you constructed an aqueduct of dreams and stood at Gibraltar, but you possess nothing. Snow melts into a pool of clear water, and in this stillness, starlight behind daylight, wherever you gaze. Next, architect's watercolor. An architect draws a watercolor depicting two people about to enter a meeting room while someone on the stairway gazes through windows at a park, river, skyscrapers beyond. He does not want to be locked like a carbon atom in a benzene ring, but needs to rotate, lift off, veer along wharves and shoreline. In the acoustics of this space, he catches a needle bounce off a black granite floor, wanders from a main hallway, encounters prickly pear burned purple in wind. In the ocean gusts before dawn, he yearns for a Mediterranean spray, where sunlight tingles eyelashes, where sand releases heat under the stars. In the atrium, two violinists launch fireworks of sound that arc, explode, dissolve into threads of melodic charm. Here, slate near a pool of water absorbs sunlight, releases ripples into the evening, and in this space, each minute is encounter. He steps out and makes footprints on a sidewalk dusted with snow. And finally, Midsummer. Tiger swallowtails hover over Russian sage. I smell eucalyptus where there is no eucalyptus, and locate summer in rain. Like bats emerging out of a cave at dusk, a thread of grief unfurls in the sky. Neither you nor I can stop the planting of mines in a field or the next detonation. I unclog a drip line along a fence. In May, lilacs arced over the road in a cascade of purple blossoms. Now, stilled in a minute of darkness, I listen to bamboo leaves unfurl above into sunshine. Untangling a necklace composed of interlocking gold chains, then lifting it, I trace joy, fear, bewilderment, bliss, a this resplendent in my fingertips. I slip inside a strawberry runner that extends root, leaf, then stand in morning starlight and inhabit a song. So that's a little bit about the life and poetry of the new U.S. Poet Laureate, Arthur Z. As always, I thank you for watching. I hope that you're doing well. I'll speak with you again soon. Take care.